In the last video, I built a lattice panel to hide my air conditioning unit. What do you think? But that was never really the end goal. It was just phase one, because while the panel definitely helped, this entire area still needs a lot of work. So today I'm finally moving on to phase two, building a garden around it. I've got evergreens to plant, a mountain of mulch, and a vision for what I want this area to become. So let's see how much progress we can make. So after doing a lot of plant research, I landed on arrow point hollies for height and auto Leucan cherry laurels for something lower growing. I don't have many local nursery options, so I ordered from fastgrowingtrees.com. Now this is not sponsored by them. I've been a paying customer for several years and I've always been really pleased with the plants that I've ordered from there. Plus they run really good sales pretty often. So if you're new here, first of all, welcome. And this is the back of my house. This structure actually started out as a dairy barn before being converted into a home nearly 40 years ago. And because it is so long and narrow, it looks really awkward. So my main goal has been to add depth and dimension and visual interest with foundation planting and landscaping. Now I've mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. I am not an experienced gardener. I'm just learning as I go. I've already made plenty of mistakes with the whole wrong plant, wrong place thing, but that's just part of gardening. And I'm hopeful that these choices will work long term, but if they don't, I'll just pivot and adapt. Ideally, I would have gotten all of the plants in the ground before moving on to the next step of mulching, but sometimes you gotta work around other people's schedules. I only got about half this bed planted before my husband and son were ready to help me move mulch off of the trailer, and I was not about to waste their free labor, so we're doing things a little bit out of order today. Last summer, when I created the garden beds around the front of the house, I tried the sheet mulching method with cardboard for the very first time, and honestly, I have been shocked at how well it works. Nearly all of the cardboard from last year has already decomposed, but the weed suppression has been incredible. I'm telling you, I can count on one hand how many weeds I've had to pull in those beds over the last year. And at this point, I can confidently say I will never use landscape fabric again as long as I live. Now that might sound dramatic, but I mean it. If you've not tried cardboard under mulch before, I cannot recommend it enough. We were having such a beautiful sunny Saturday, as you could tell from the last few clips, and then the sky suddenly grew dark and a pop-up thunderstorm with hail rolled through. It was so crazy. So while we wait for this to pass, and before we can get back to planting, I want to take just a minute to thank today's video sponsor. Oh man. So I have a confession. I am just not one of those people who likes to cook. I only cook because I have to feed my family every single day, and sadly we cannot afford daily takeout. And up until about a year ago, I was still using my same old inexpensive pans that I had probably gotten at my wedding shower almost 20 years ago, and the nonstick coating was flaking off, and to be honest with you, I never thought a thing about it. And then I learned that that traditional nonstick coating can contain chemicals that are really harmful. I felt so dumb for not knowing that sooner, but you just don't know what you don't know. So once I knew better, I threw out all of those pans immediately and started searching for a replacement. And that led me to try stainless steel pans because a lot of people online seem to love stainless steel. Well, let me tell you something. All those people online liking that stuff are better cooks than me, because no matter what I did, every single thing stuck to that pan and it was a nightmare to clean up. I just wanted something that was high quality, that was easy to use, easy to clean, and made without all those harmful chemicals. And that's why I started using Caraway. Caraway is a non-toxic kitchenware brand made without PTFE, PFOA, PFAS, and other forever chemicals. Caraway's ceramic coating makes cooking so much easier for somebody like me who's not necessarily trying to win any culinary awards. I've been using Caraway now for all of our daily meals, and I cannot tell you how much easier cleanup is than what I was dealing with before. I got the black and gold set because it matches my range, obviously. This set comes with a frying pan, a saute pan, Dutch oven, saucepan, lids for all of them, plus a canvas lid organizer and a magnetic pan rack for easy storage. Now, buying the set this way saves 20% compared to buying them individually. Now, Caraway is an investment. It's a little bit more than what your average cookware set is. However, if you're in the kitchen every single day like I am, whether you want to be or not, it's really an investment in your health, and that's something that I'm willing to pay a little bit more for. If you're wanting to swap out your cookware for a non-toxic alternative, check out Caraway, and you can use my code KaylaPayne for 10% off, plus that code will stack on their Father's Day sale. Right now through June 22nd, if you spend $495, you'll get a free Butcherbox. And if you spend over $795, you'll receive Butcherbox and Caraway's cast iron grill pan. So whether you're a fancy home chef or somebody who's more like me and just trying not to go hungry, Caraway can make your time in the kitchen much easier and safer. Thanks, Caraway, for sponsoring today's video. So as I got back to planting, I was feeling like this bed was really missing something. It had the height from the arrow point hollies, but it didn't have a lot of texture, and so I decided to bring in some purple fountain grass to break things up a bit. But it was not until I was editing this video in this very moment and adding the plant information on the screen that I realized that purple fountain grass is not a perennial in my growing zone 7. And I am so bummed out. Had I realized beforehand that this was going to be an annual for me, I would have never purchased 4 of them at $37 a piece. Now, the plant says that they are hardy down to 10 degrees, and while we don't really have all that many days that cold, we do occasionally dip below that. So if you've grown purple fountain grass in zone 7, let me know your experience in the comments because I'd love to hear it. For the corner of the lattice structure, I planted a skybox holly. It's supposed to stay fairly narrow at just 1 to 2 feet wide while eventually reaching about 5 foot tall. So I think that it will soften this corner without overpowering the structure itself, because honestly, I love this structure way too much to hide it. If you missed my last video, this is the lattice panel I built to disguise our air conditioning unit, and I could not be happier with how it turned out. As you can clearly tell, this isn't quite finished. We will continue the rock border all the way around to define the bed, and ideally that would have been done first, but I was just too impatient and wanted to get the plants in the ground before the heat of summer. So while the cardboard edges can still be seen and the grass desperately needs to be cut, I hope you're better than me at seeing past all the things that still need to be finished to see the vision slowly taking shape. Okay, we're gonna take a break from the backyard now, and I've moved to the front yard. I don't think I have talked about what I'm sort of thinking about in this little area on video yet, so bear with me just a second, and I'm going to kind of walk you through what I'm thinking here, and you can let me know in the comments what you think or what you would do differently. This bed that's in front of the porch, it will just kind of extend, and I'm thinking it's going to curve along this area and then start swinging out, maybe swinging out a little bit wider to here, and then kind of circle around, and then roughly maybe around like right here, I would like to put an arbor, and then I would like pretty dense plantings like all through here so that it blocks your view from where you are this way. Once it's all mature and stuff, it'll sort of block everything behind me, kind of like a living wall to here, the arbor, and then it would still continue to swing out with some, and then sort of just like, I don't know, come all through here, basically making some type of courtyard feel in this area. Thought about maybe some Adirondack chairs with a fire pit here, maybe an espalier on this wall to take up all of this area. So this magnolia tree, I'm thinking somewhere around right here. It could anchor this corner, take up some space so you can't see behind it, some lower things planted in front of it and all around. I don't know, that's just what I'm thinking. But basically from your direction, the road is behind you, kind of cover up the back part of that house, make a little private area in it. The only thing is I can't plant anything living wall that gets too tall, because if you swing around just a little bit, you know, we don't want to plant anything too tall because we don't really want to cover up the view, and the front porch is like basically right behind where you guys are right now. So whatever I get planted out here only needs to be up maybe chest high. Even like if it was just a row of boxwood or something, I don't know. You can let me know what you think down below. I really think I want it a little closer to the house. I really probably shouldn't put it any closer to the house, but dang, I want it closer to the house. Actually, I take that back. I just want the tree to be bigger. Which way does she go? Oh, baby. Hang on a minute. Good grief, this wind. Oh my gosh. So I know that this is gonna sound really silly, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I struggled showing this as my after for this video because it's not fully finished. I mean, this is so ugly and unsightly. You know, I know that that's just part of a real life renovation in real time with a real budget. And you know, we're gonna put a rock border here. It will eventually look better than this. You know, by the time that I wanted this video to go out, it just wasn't 100% done. A large reason that I love to watch videos like this here on YouTube is for a really satisfying after at somebody else's house. I could see a whole before, a middle, and a nice ending. You know, I enjoy that, so I always want to produce videos that have that same satisfying afterwards. And like, I know that you know that you know that I know that that's not always real life. So the last several videos on my channel have all been here outside working. I'm kind of feeling like it's getting a little bit monotonous and maybe I need to switch it up. So let me know in the comments if you are enjoying these outside videos, if I need to keep doing, like I have so many more things that I want to do here outside. I can continue to make some videos here outside. But if you're feeling like you want to see something different, let me know, because my sister needs her laundry room kind of finished. She needs some cabinets hung, some cabinets painted, some wallpaper, and I've told her that I will help her. So I need to do that as well. So if you would like to see a video that has nothing to do with my house or my yard, let me know. I think that that could be kind of fun content for the channel, something a little bit different. I guess that's gonna do it for me for today, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.